I love the game. I love the hustle, man.
Take a little sip.
Yeah, I'm taking a little sip too. Yay!
A little Merlot ain't never hurt nobody. You know what I'm talking about? Yo, what's good? I go by the name of Stealth. We got my boy Dope Boy Bush, and we are back with the All Net No Rim podcast. Now, today is July 20th of 2023, man. It's real dry, man. I am dying for some basketball, but we got a little bit of news we're going to talk about today. So, man, what's good? What's good with my boy, man? Hey, we was trying to get Teddy White, but Teddy White couldn't make it today, so it's just a duo, you know what I'm saying? Some days it might be...
We hold him down.
Some days it might be me and Dope Boy. Some days it might be me and Teddy. Some days it might be all three of us. It kind of depends on the schedule and what's going on, but we're going to keep hitting y'all with the content. Definitely appreciate y'all tapping in.
Sure.
So what's good, man? Talk to me.
Man, I'm doing good up over here, man. Glad to go ahead and film, man. Get back up on here. You know, we missing Teddy right now, but we're going to hold it down for bro, man. We got you next time, man.
We're going to hold it down. We're going to hold it down. So, yeah, man, we're going to get straight into it. So we're going to start with Sasha Vezenkov. Nothing too much, but he did officially sign with the Sacramento Kings yesterday, which was July 19th. Just real quick again for the people in the back, Sasha Vezenkov was initially drafted 57th in the 2017 draft by the Brooklyn Nets. His draft rights got traded to, I believe, the Cavaliers, who then traded the draft rights to the Kings last year in 2022. So he averaged 17.6 points, 7 rebounds, 1.9 assists, while shooting 54.6 from the field and almost 40% from the three-point range, 39.8 to be exact, in the 30 range in 33 EuroLeague games for the
He said, ooh.
I'm about to edit that out. All right. He was also named the 2023 MVP of the EuroLeague. So, man, just talk about him real quick. You know, I know it's kind of light news, but he officially signed, so he is going to be on the team. What's your thoughts on him?
Hey, I'm just gonna be honest with you, man. Seeing what I've seen on, paper, as far as reading articles about him and things of that nature, with him averaging, 17 points, shooting 55% from the field, from the field. Sounds like he's going to be a good acquisition for them. I don't know what to really expect from him, the first season into the NBA. Yeah. But it does sound like, he can possibly fit into like a Peja Stojakovic mode from what I've seen. Now, as far as I know, he seems like he's more athletic. And I know we talked about it, and me looking at some of these highlights, it seems like it's that. But I feel like, if they get him into the right mode and it can fit well for him, I think it can go ahead and it can probably be a good situation for the Kings.
I agree.
And for him too as well.
There's two things that I'm really excited about with this with his acquisition. For one, the depth for the Kings, right?
They need that.
We just got deeper, and I just saw it was an article I was reading. Somebody was saying the same thing, like that we become one of the deepest teams in the league now, because of him and Chris Duarte, re-signing Harrison and things like that.
Right.
Keegan, the jump that everybody's expecting him to make. So I'm definitely excited about the depth. And the second thing is the three-point shooting. Right.
Yes, I seen
the
that,
three-point shooting. If he's shooting 40% from three, you add him with Herter and Keegan's three-point shooting. So we have three dead-eye guys, and then on top of that, we have some guys who can shoot the three ball pretty well. Fox improved his three-point shooting.
Yes.
Harrison, we've seen him knock down the three ball, and we got Malik Monk. You know what I mean?
You got Monk,
so
exactly.
That's that's exciting, man. Those the 3-point shooting and the depth, man. I don't know, man. I'm getting excited about this season. I really feel like the Kings can really do something right now. Now we do have to improve the defense. Another pickup, Nerlens Noel. The Kings did sign Nerlens Noel.
Okay, yes, I see that. Yes, sir.
So he is now officially a Sacramento King. I know what we signed him for: defense. Yes. Nerlens Noel is not known. Anybody who doesn't know about his game, he's not known for offense. So don't expect him to come in and score 20 or anything like that. But he's a shot blocker and he's a rebounder. So what's your thoughts on that acquisition?
I do feel like that was a good pickup for the Kings because it does add depth. It does add more defense to a team that actually needed it. Because of the players that's been there before, and no disrespect to any of them, they for me, it didn't seem like they were really good at playing defense. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like once he steps in, it's like, hey, this is the only thing we need you to go ahead and do. Go out here, rebound the ball, get us a couple blocks, possibly a couple of steals here and there, and just play good defense. You know what I mean? Yeah. We don't need nothing more, nothing less. We don't need you to be a hero, you know what I'm saying, on the offensive side of the ball, and just play. Just be like a defensive stopper, man. And that's what I think the Kings do not have. Kings do not have an actual defensive stopper, and that probably will help them when he comes off the bench. So we'll see how that works for him.
I think Mike Brown is still having PTSD from not being able to stop. Make these stops when we needed him in the playoffs. Yes, but he's definitely going to help us on the defensive side. And I remember last season, Mike Brown was saying that he wants us to be a better defensive team. However, he kind of knew he wouldn't be able to I guess, quote unquote, fix that in one season. So he said, all right, we'll get to that, but let's work on let's continue to do what we do well, which is offense, score, run the floor, things like that. So pushing the pace, you know what I mean? So he basically just insinuated what the Kings were good at. And now this offseason, look for Mike Brown to really place the onus on the players to get better defensively. And I think they're going to have to. Yeah.
They're gonna have to, in order to compete with the likes of the Nuggets, the Lakers when they're healthy, the Clippers. You got to definitely be able to go ahead and get stops when stops are needed. And if you can't do that, you can't rely on offense just to go ahead and carry you through a 7-game series, and get you to the playoffs. You actually need people who's gonna come in there and actually know their roles and actually go ahead and play to their defensive assignments and stop
absolutely
the ball, you know what I'm saying, by any means necessary.
And again, another reason I like the Nerlens Noel pickup is because he is a veteran.
Yes,
and he's been known to be a good locker room guy. He's a tough dude, you know what I mean. So he's gonna be, he's not gonna let anybody punk him or any of the other guys. No. So you need guys like that in this league. Rebounder, shot blocker, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's going to be interesting to see how much he plays, when and where he plays. I don't know if he's coming off the bench or they're going to start him at the 5, put Sabonis at the 4. I kind of feel like he's going to sub in for Sabonis, but it's going to be that's going to be a little, because now that I'm thinking about it, if he subs in for Sabonis, that means the offense is going to change when we put our bench in. That means that means the offense is going to run through Monk and Sasha.
Yes.
It's no longer going to run through the big man, so it's going to be a lot of different actions. Should be interesting to see how that works. But Nerlens Noel, he did sign to the Kings for a 1-year deal for $3.1 million. So he is now Sacramento King. But we'll see what he brings. We'll see what he brings to the team.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in seeing what he can go ahead and do as far as
you didn't like it at first. You didn't like it at first.
I definitely did, man. I felt like there were some other casts out there that they could have got. You know what I mean? But like I said, after watching, and seeing what he's done over the years, and seeing it's like more so like, okay, he's not a scorer. Yeah, he's a junkyard dog.
Yeah,
Come
exactly.
in there,
but you need that on teams.
Yes,
though.
You do. You definitely do.
You need that.
And especially in this day and age with the NBA, I feel like it doesn't really have too many junkyard dogs out here that's really about that bully ball and really about getting out there and go ahead and get some rebounds.
You need
some blocks and stuff like that.
Guys like the Pat Bevs, the PJ Tuckers, the Draymond
Greens.
You know what I mean? Even guys like Dylan Brooks. You need guys like that.
Yes.
When you look at teams that win, teams have those guys. You know what I mean? The teams that win championships. So I'm excited, man. I like the makeup of our team. If we stay healthy, look out, man. So adding Sasha, adding Chris Duarte. We ain't really talked about Chris Duarte. He's guard. I think he's going to kind of fill that Terrence Davis role, kind of coming in, being that maybe like that second 2 guard, maybe kind of subbing in for Herter. Maybe Monk could kind of sub in for De'Aaron. I don't know. We got a lot of depth now. It's going to be interesting to see the rotations. You know what I mean? So
definitely a lot of moving pieces for the Kings. You know what I'm saying? A lot of moving pieces. Yeah.
But I'm excited about the defense, and I'm excited about the depth, and I'm excited about the 3-point shooting. So I feel like we got better. At first, for me, I'm not gonna lie, it was looking kind of shaky. I was like, we're just kind of coming back. We're just running it back. I don't know if it's gonna be good enough to get over the hump. But definitely. I do feel like we went 7 games with the defending champs of the previous season.
Yes,
right?
For sure.
And now we're coming back. I feel like we can get better, but I love the Nerlens move because I think the Kings know, the front office knows that we have to get better defensively in order to take that next jump. We can score with anybody. Everybody knows that. We could score with everybody and anybody in the league. But
they proved it last year.
We proved it last year. But we got to get better defensively. So I'm ready. I'm ready for the season, man. We got what, 3 months? God.
Yeah, we got a little while. We got a little minute.
The end of October, October.
Yeah.
So
somewhere around Halloween, like a little bit before Halloween.
Yeah, around there.
I want to say, you know what I mean? So it's when, we got some preseason balls that should be coming up prior to that.
Preseason's October, like mid-October, and then we have FIBA in August, so we have some basketball in August. We have summer league in July. So anybody and everybody who needs their basketball fix, we do have some basketball coming up here. So FIBA starts in 2 weeks, I believe. The FIBA tournament. We're going to talk about that a little later. But now let's get to Draymond Green. Ooh. Draymond Green. Now we got a couple things to talk about with Draymond Green.
Take a sip to that.
Yeah, let's take a sip to that. So, man, first of all, we're going to talk about Draymond Green and Jordan Poole. Apparently, this is coming back up. This is coming back to being news service in the media, social media. People are starting to talk about it now. I guess Draymond Green did a podcast interview with Pat Bev. Yes, and sir. The one thing I will give Draymond, he was asked about it, right? It wasn't like he volunteered any information. But this is what Draymond Green said. Let's play this real quick.
I don't just hit people. Dialogue, of course, happens over time, and you usually ain't just triggered by something like that fast, to that degree. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a team. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody on my team triggering me, in an instant. We know stuff that you don't say amongst men. You know what I'm saying? We know, things that you have to stand on.
So he's basically saying that he doesn't just get triggered right away, right? And there was something that was said that basically made him act out and knock Jordan Poole out. You know what I mean? Now, some of you guys may not agree with what he did or whatever, have your opinion on it. I mean, we don't know. We weren't there. We don't know what was said, and we don't know what was said before that. What has been going on prior. Some things, sometimes things boil over, and if you haven't been in those type of situations, you may not understand it. And I get it, but I've seen certain situations to where people antagonize each other for so long, and then at some point it just boils over. To me, it sounds like that's what happened, and that's what Draymond was saying. Like, I just don't hit people. You know what I mean? It's not like I was just mad. And I feel like it was a build up. Now, I do want to go to something that Colin Cowherd said some months ago, who was on FS1. I want to credit him. I'm paraphrasing, but basically he was saying that, and he's very good friends with Draymond, by the way. So this is kind of, you can pretty much, from the horse's mouth himself, he was pretty much saying that it was a disrespectful situation from Jordan Poole towards Steve Kerr, right? Towards the coach, towards the leadership of the team. Draymond, being the locker room leader, took it upon himself to, I guess, verbally check it. That's when him and Jordan got into it. And then it was just a build up from there. Jordan probably said a couple things that Draymond didn't like. And then, hence we got the punch that the leaked video displayed. So, this is coming back up again. But then also too, right? So now Anthony Poole, who's Jordan Poole's daddy, he has something to say to Draymond. Do you want to talk about that? Did you see what he said?
So yeah, like I said, for me, on the outside looking in and just hearing about the story, I did feel like Jordan Poole's dad, Anthony Poole, should have not went to social media at all to defend his son. You know what I'm saying? And also to want to go ahead and try to fight Draymond. At the end of the day, this is what your son did. Your son's a grown man. He's over the age of 21 or over the age of 18. If nobody's jumping in and nobody's, trying to gang up on Jordan, then, take a step back, let your son handle it. He's the one, that was antagonizing Steve Kerr. He was the one that was antagonizing Draymond, or Draymond being the leader of the team and stepping up and telling him, hey, look, we're not going to go ahead and tolerate that. At the end of the day, if you're talking big boy stuff, you got to go ahead and put on your big boy draws and be ready to go ahead and do what you got to go ahead and do. But Absolutely. For his dad to feel like he deserves an apology for him and his wife, sorry, Mr. Poole. You don't deserve. You do not deserve that. Your wife does not deserve that neither, man. At the end of the day, that's not what's going on. Your son was totally in the wrong, from what I understand. You know what I mean? From what we understand. Like I said, now we're not there.
It's funny because a lot of people think Draymond was wrong, but we don't. You can't say who was wrong because you weren't there. Definitely. First of all,
I agree.
You know what I mean? So I don't like the whole, he should have never hit him. Like, hey, man, some people.
Right? No. And like Draymond said it was a buildup. It wasn't like Draymond just went ahead and lashed out on him the first thing he said. It was like, hey, look, you keep poking the bear. Eventually, the bear's gonna go ahead and bite back, or he's gonna attack. And that's exactly what Draymond did. He attacked, and then for the dad, for Anthony Poole to be like, oh, okay, let's go ahead and catch a fair one, or let's go ahead and fight, or whatever.
That's so weird.
Anytime, any place, it's like, bro, you're grown. I don't know how old you are, Mr. Poole, but for me on the outside looking in, man, let your son fight his own battles. Don't go to social media talking about it, and just let them talk amongst each other.
That's
Draymond, I'm pretty sure somebody on that team can go ahead and figure out how they can go ahead and get on the phone as men.
Yeah.
And hey, I'm gonna go ahead, you know what I'm saying, and be the what's called in this situation. Yeah. And help you guys out.
And that's my problem too. If I'm Jordan Poole, I'm telling my pops, shut up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
like
exactly.
you're making the whole situation worse. You're not helping.
Yes.
And it just makes Jordan Poole look soft to me. It's like, oh, your big bad dad got to come stick up for you. Like, it's like, bro, like, here's my thing. And Jordan Poole, if it was that serious at the time, you should have just asked Draymond for the fade after he knocked you out. If you really,
I need that fair one, man. I need that fair one. No cameras around, nobody around. I need the fair one.
Here's my thing. I gotta work with you for the next 9 months at that point, because this was like early. This was preseason. This was like training camp. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta work with you for the next 9 months. I still feel a certain type of way. Right, we got to go all back. We got square. We can put on the gloves and then we can shake the hands as men. Sometimes that's what and I understand some of you guys out there watching this may not handle your problems like that, but sometimes when you are in a space to where like you kind of, I don't want to say from the hood, but you kind of know the energy of how things work when it comes to physical
violence.
Harm,
whatever.
Whatever. Like somebody, just sucker punching you. A lot of people call it, or just an interaction or disagreement. We'll just call that. I mean, if that's what you feel like you need to do to get it off your chest, just put the gloves on. Y'all could have did that, but now you're 3,000 miles away over in Washington. You guys are no longer teammates. You got traded to the Wizards, and now it's a lot of chirping and yapping and things like that. Now, some people may feel like, oh, that's Draymond talking. It's not him, but he was asked about it in an interview. Now, could he have said, I don't want to talk about that. We moved on. I respect Jordan. We got over it as best we could. He's now on another team. Right. I wish him well. He could have said that.
Yeah, it could have handled differently.
And I just came up with that in 2 seconds. So he could have easily said that. But he chose to kind of expand on it and talk about it. And I feel like that's where Anthony Poole didn't really feel that. And you were saying Jordan Poole kind of had like a subliminal thing he said.
Yeah, like a subliminal message when he was putting up buckets at the practice facility, for the Wizards, saying that, you need to go ahead and get a hobby in so many words, and it's like, why would you go ahead and say that now? And Draymond does have a hobby outside of basketball. We see he's got his own podcast that he's been doing.
He has his own podcast. He's on Pat Bad podcast.
Yeah, his podcast is exactly.
So he be on like TNT. Jordan, he's doing things. He with LeBron over in Paris. Like he's doing things. Let's not act like Draymond's not doing things, but
definitely.
And
especially being a color commentator for NBA All-Star Weekend too as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's been doing that for a couple different years. So it's like, Jordan, come on, man. Like don't take jabs at the man, and be subliminal about it. If you have an issue with the man, tell him point blank. Take it up with him. Don't put it up on social media on both sides. But I understand Draymond's situation, being asked that. I get it. I get it. But
it's funny to me too, what I observed from afar, and I talked about this earlier when we talked about something else completely, but I'm a very observant person. You know that about me, right?
Definitely.
I'm a read between the lines type person. So when I see this interaction, right, two things that I realized from both Draymond and the Poole family, he still looked at as a kid.
Oh, of course he is.
I apologize to his mom and dad. You know what I mean? Anthony Poole going on Twitter challenging Draymond. Jordan Poole not really saying anything. So he still looked at as a kid. I mean, what are you, 23, 24-ish?
And then it's gotta be like, well, how old is your dad? How old are you, sir? For you to go ahead and jump on,
gotta be in the 40s. I'm assuming
exactly
early 40s, mid 40s.
But to jump on social media, right? And defend your son in a situation where he can go ahead and defend himself until need be. I didn't understand that. So, hey, man, you're grown.
And I'm
let your son pick his own. Let him pick his own fights. That's it.
I'm telling you, the NBA is its own kind of like, when y'all in high school, that's kind of like your school, little cliques and things like that.
Right.
I'm telling you, this is gonna make Jordan Poole look really soft amongst his peers. I'm telling y'all, I know it's coming. He's gonna get punked. People are gonna be talking mess to him.
Yes.
I can't wait to see him against the Warriors. But I just feel like you just look soft, man. I'm sorry. Like you.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I would
have been like, Pops, shut up. Like, don't say nothing.
Right. Don't say nothing. Right. No. Don't voice your opinion whatsoever.
If you put that on Twitter, I'm telling you to delete it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not to now.
And then I'm posting something like, hey, my pops don't speak for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm a grown man. But you got to kind of like.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I just feel like he just looks really, really soft right now. But, like I said, Draymond could have just deflected and kind of said what I said earlier. To like, hey, I wish bro well. He was a teammate of mine. We won a championship. We had an incident. We got over it as best we could. We tried to get through the season. It didn't work out. Right. But I don't have no ill will. Boom. He could have just said that.
Definitely,
but he didn't, and
I think I think the reason why he's not is because people are going to go ahead and continue to ask him that question until they get the right answer.
And he just wanted to just this is what
I'm going to get it over
Stop
with.
Asking.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't fault him for that at all.
Yeah, no. So I definitely understand that. So
Jordan, grow up, man. Jordan, grow up, bro. That's all I'm going to tell you. Grow up for real, for real.
I agree. So also too, man, with the Warriors, Chris Paul has joined the Warriors, and we did talk about that some weeks ago. But relating to Draymond Green, we kind of had something interesting with that as well. So basically, Draymond Green was quoted before as saying that he did not like Chris Paul, right?
Definitely.
And he was also asked about that on the Pat Bev podcast. For y'all that don't know, Pat Bev was funny. Pat Bev don't like Chris Paul. For y'all that don't know, like he does not like Chris Paul. So he was dying to ask this question, but so basically there was an article kind of talking about what happened on the podcast. It says Draymond Green and Chris Paul have not liked each other for years. Now the two are teammates and they would begin to address things. Green knows it. In the newest episode of Pat Bev's podcast, Draymond Green spoke with Pat Beverly about his previous disdain for Chris Paul and how he manages to manages to address it now. He said, "This is real life we live in and playing in these games. Just to go front and act like all those things were fake," Green said. "I've publicly said I didn't like Chris Paul before. I'm just not going to be like, oh man, that changed. Now he's my teammate. No, I look forward to talking amongst men. I look forward to working with another adult. We've had our fair share of days not working with adults. We've had our fair share of days of not working with adults and people who don't move like adults. So I'm looking forward to going to work with an adult." So basically, again, he's basically saying, hey, I'm a man, he's a man, we're going to work it out, we're going to talk about it, this is how it's supposed to be done. Probably kind of that might be another jab at Jordan Poole right there, but I don't know. Basically saying adult.
I think it's a jab at Jordan Poole for sure.
But Chris Paul is definitely he's not no punk. Everybody knows that. He's very reputable as far as being a tough-nosed bulldog. He's going to go compete. He's going to compete with you. Everybody knows that. But he is now a Warrior, and him and Draymond, even Steph, he hasn't really gotten along with the Warriors. They've been battling a lot of years.
Battling layers,
when he was with the Clippers, when he was with the Rockets, things like that. So it's going to be a very interesting dynamic. And also Chris Paul, I think we'll get to that after this part. I was going to talk about something actually relating to something he said. But as far as the Draymond and Chris Paul thing, what's your thoughts on that?
It's going to be very interesting. You leave one turmoil situation with Jordan Poole to go ahead and bring in possibly another one. But I did like what Draymond did say in regards to saying, hey, I didn't like him. I still don't like him, even though he is my teammate currently, which is crazy. We can talk as amongst men. Now, one thing I do respect about him in that situation, he did say we can talk as amongst men.
Men, right.
You know what I mean? Let's talk about it. Let's figure out what the differences are.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out, and then we're going to go ahead and play ball. Now, hopefully this can stay like this, and it doesn't create, a bad situation to where somebody has to get traded. I know Draymond, he just signed, didn't he? Not too long ago. So, with that being said, I know Chris Paul, is aging and he's getting at the tail end of his career, and he's trying to go ahead and possibly close out his, chapter story with the championship. You know what I mean? But for me, on the outside looking in and hearing all this and hearing about, how CP doesn't like Steph and how he didn't like Draymond and Draymond not liking him. I just hope them as men can figure it out, can coexist, and go out here and win some games and possibly go ahead and get another championship for Golden State, but then also go ahead and get a championship for CP3. You know what I mean? If it happens. Hopefully it does. We'll see. It's interesting, though. I'm not going to lie to you. It's definitely interesting to see how this dynamic is going to go ahead and work out. And, we have to just go ahead and go from there and see what happens. What are your thoughts about that?
I feel like Chris Paul, they're all professionals. You know what I mean? Definitely. Chris Paul and Draymond, they're both professionals, and I feel like they're gonna work it out. Man, I don't think this is a big deal. I mean, Pat Bev. Nobody thought Pat Bev and Russell Westbrook could work together. And they became like good friends. A lot of people don't know, and that history was crazy because Pat Bev, actually. I don't know if a lot of people remember, there was a series between, I believe, the Rockets and the OKC Thunder some years ago, and Pat Bev tried to be aggressive on the play after the whistle, pretty much somehow kind of bumped Westbrook, and I think tore he tore his MCL or something like that. I don't know exactly what it was, but he was injured. He was out for the rest of that playoff and beyond. So. There was a lot of friction between those two, and they made it work on the Lakers. They talked as men, figured it out, and like I said, I think Pat Bev said he went to Russell's house for Thanksgiving. You know what I mean, and stuff like that.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, so
they're both men, and I do feel like with the camaraderie that they have there, somebody's gonna go ahead and step in and be like, "Hey, look, we got to go ahead and fix this." Whether it be Steve Kerr, whether it be Steph Curry, whether it be Wiggins, or whether it be Klay Thompson, somebody's gonna step in and be like, "Hey, look, we already got a championship, caliber team. We've already won championships. Let's not try to go ahead and stir the pot up, make it way more worse than what it really needs to go ahead and be."
Yeah.
And if we can go ahead and coexist as teammates only and play, we're on and off the court, cool. Whatever you do off the court, so be it. You know what I'm saying? As long as you don't go ahead and interfere with me and I don't interfere with you, then cool, we're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I said, I like the way he said it though. I like the way he went ahead and phrased that too. That's big up to him for sure.
What I like is the honesty, and people say they always want honesty, but he said look, I said I didn't like him. I'm not gonna run from that. I haven't talked to him yet, but training camp's gonna start in probably 2 months, and we'll talk. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So
I agree.
I like that. Maybe they'll talk before then, but I definitely.
I feel like
you know what? I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't the biggest Draymond fan some years ago. I wasn't. I like the guy now, man. I can't. I don't know. I just like the authentic attitude and the approach that he takes to everything. Yeah,
I'm not being fake.
And he's annoying. I know a lot of Kings fans hate him for the whole Sabonis thing. Let's be honest. Yeah, he kind of stepped on him, whatever. But they were competing. Come on, you ain't gonna hate the guy. We don't gotta root for him either. But I don't hate Draymond. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm a big Draymond fan, man. I like everything about him as far as his play. And then
I like how he approaches the game. I like how he approaches the game.
Definitely.
Because we don't have enough guys like that in the league who play hard.
Not no more.
Every time out, give it their all. You know what I mean? And he's an integral part to that whole dynasty, the Warriors dynasty.
And that was big for them to go ahead and resign him. That's why they need to go ahead and resign him. And I don't know who else you would go ahead and get to replace him. I mean, what we're going to go ahead and get. And
there was talk about adding him to the Kings at one time. So.
Yeah, I did see that.
Definitely what's crazy? But now that I'm sitting there thinking about that, I wouldn't have been mad at that. Because think about it. If we sign, think about it right now. Think about the guy. Think about the guys we signed. We re-signed Harrison and we signed Nerlens Noel. Right. Now Harrison is better offensively than Draymond, but if you added Draymond and kind of put him in that 4 role or that 5, small ball 5 or whatever, you kind of interchangeable with Sabonis,
right?
And you're still bringing over Sasha. You still added Duarte. The Keegan jump. Man. That would have been a nice little.
Hey, it adds that alpha male to that.
That would have been a nice, tough.
I'm at it. Yes.
Yes. But
physical play, the whole nine.
That wouldn't have been bad.
A little bit more tougher for sure. I wouldn't have been mad at that neither.
I could have saw how that would have worked. But now with Chris Paul again, go back to him. He also has insinuated that he does not want to come off the bench, and that might be a problem because when you're looking at it right now, it's Steph, Clay, Wiggins, Dre, and Looney is like the starting 5, right? So if Chris Paul were to start, I'm assuming. And now here's the thing: this could work. Hear me out. Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond, and Wiggins. It would be small. You're committing, but Draymond can guard fives, and there's not a lot of fives in this league, like true centers.
Yes,
right?
I agree.
And then you still have Looney on the bench. It's just like maybe he's just not starting the game. If you really, I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like that's what they should do. I feel like, and the reason I say that is because you want to make Chris Paul feel as comfortable as possible coming into the team. He just came out of a situation where Phoenix pretty much gave up on him, right? They traded him, got rid of him, and now he is a little older, but I don't feel like he is a bench point guard. Like, he's still a starting point guard in this league.
No, not right now. He's definitely not a
starting point guard in this league, and because of his skill set and what he's able to do. Yes, I feel like if he's able to come in and initiate that offense, and Draymond could focus more on the defensive end of guarding that five and rebounding. He doesn't have to be the initiator. Steph could still play off the ball. You still have your wings and Klay and Wiggins. I kind of feel like that's the route they should go. I feel like that should be the starting five. And again, you still have Looney coming off your bench as your five, coming for Draymond and things like that. Give him a rest, and you can kind of mix it up. You could even put somebody on the bench. Like, okay, well, we're going to bring in Looney, but Chris, you stay out here. We're going to rest Draymond. We're going to rest Draymond and Steph. Now you kind of mess around with your bench, Looney. You know, now you kind of got Chris Paul working. You know what I mean? I feel like there's things you can do, but I feel like he's just, for sure. I feel like he should start. What's your opinion on that?
I mean, just to piggyback off what you're saying, I definitely feel like right now Chris Paul is still a starting point guard caliber player. Yes. I don't feel like he should come off the bench right now. I do feel like he should be in that starting role. And if it was my decision and I was Steve Kerr, then yes, hey, Looney, we appreciate everything you've done for us so far. You know, you've won a couple championships with us. Hey, we're going to go ahead and relegate you to the bench. We're going to go ahead and put CP3 in that starting position and go ahead and run the small ball. And like you said, Draymond can guard all five positions if need be. You know, there's no true actual centers out here, probably besides Jokic, that play down at that low block and play physical like that night in and night out. Yeah. You know, and then there might be times where you go ahead and mix up the line because CP might not be playing. Yeah. You know, to where you go ahead and go back to the regular starting five, you know, Wiggins and Klay and Steph and what's called Draymond and Looney. You have that option to go ahead and do so too as well. You might have nights where you're going to have to rest him to where that's going to go ahead and have to happen. But for me, on the outside looking in, and if I was Steve Kerr and hearing what CP3 said and him basically still being a caliber player that can go ahead and still start and get you 10 and, you know, 15 or 10 and 12 in 8 or something like that. Yeah. It's still a good situation for him to still be able to go ahead and play and start, you know, and contribute. Coming off the bench, I do not see that happening. I don't think it should happen, in my opinion.
I don't either.
I don't think it should happen.
I don't either. At all. I don't want to use the word disrespectful, because I don't want to say it's like disrespectful, but I just feel like I just don't. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to get him to fill the Jordan Poole role, because Jordan Poole was the backup point to Steph. Right. So maybe it's like, all right, we got rid of Jordan. Now we need you to be the backup. But I mean, Steph Curry, let's be real. Like, anybody who really knows basketball, he's not the point guard of that team. He's listed at point guard, but Steph is a 2. He's a shooting guard masked as a point guard. Draymond is the point forward of that team. Yep. But you have a real point guard now, and I feel like if you put him with Steph with the rest of that, you see what I mean?
Man, so you put him in, and if Steve Kerr is still running the semi-triangle offense that you know, the great Phil Jackson ran, you know, I could definitely see him facilitating and getting some great looks for them guys. And then, like I said, Chris Paul can still get he's still an inside perimeter shooter. He can still shoot.
He can still shoot the three. He has the midi.
Right. Exactly. The mid, he got the outside range.
And I feel like if you have him, bro, like, think about it. I'm not a Warriors fan. I'm a Kings, and I do support another team. I haven't really talked about that on this channel. Maybe one day we'll talk about that. But
you definitely do.
I kind of have 2 teams. Hey, so what? There's no rules against this. But anyway, we'll get to that later. But think about it like this, right? If you have Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins all on the floor at the same time, please tell me who you're doubling.
You can't double nobody.
Please tell me who you're doubling, because you have 4 dudes who can hit the 3.
Yes, sir. Double one of them. That's going to leave Draymond open to facilitate or possibly get some buckets too as well.
You have 4 guys who could score on you and go off at any given moment. You know what I mean?
Sir.
That's kind of scary. I feel like the Chris Paul move is a very slept on move that not a lot of people are talking about in that regard. The Warriors got better.
He's a veteran. He brings leadership.
If they use him right. If they use him right. If they use him right.
Because you got to think what Dante DiVincenzo is.
He's over in New York right now. He's gone. You got
Jordan Poole gone. You know, I don't know who's going to play.
Yeah, I'm not sure who exactly they added as far as the guards that are going to be like on that team. I got to go look at their roster again. I'm kind of curious now, but
for me, I would definitely say, hey, Steve Kerr, you know, you've been a great coach so far. You've learned to
figure it out. Figure it out. Put him
figure
in
it out. But please let him start and then go from there.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't like what you're seeing, then exactly. Then pick and choose your lineups once you see things are not working. But first, let that man start or see what chemistry he builds.
Or it could be based on team to team, situational wise. Because let's be honest, if you're going against Embiid, you probably want Looney to start.
Definitely.
But if you're going against, say, the Kings against a bonus, Draymond can guard the R5. So you can start Draymond and have Chris Paul start. So I don't know. It should be interesting to see how that looks. But in my opinion, if I was, you know, I'm not mad at Chris Paul starting. I think they can figure out a way to make that work.
Not at all.
Because I know Klay's not going to. They're not putting Klay on the bench, and I don't think they're putting Wiggins on that bench either. You know what I mean?
Wiggins, he just resigned. So why would you sign that big contract to go ahead and go to the bench?
And Wiggins is guarding,
and he's younger,
and he's guarding the best wings in the league. He's guarding the Tatums, the Brons, the Ingrams, the all those.
I agree.
So he's not coming off the bench. You know what I mean? So should be interesting to see though. But
I hope that they can go ahead and get that chemistry together. As far as from the outside of basketball standpoint, you know, the hey, look, you know what? This is a business. I might not like you. Yeah. But hey, we need to go ahead and make this work and be cohesive to where we can go ahead and make a title run and get you one and get me my fifth. Get you one.
Yeah. It might work, man.
Why not?
It should. As a basketball fan, not just I'm a Kings fan, but as a basketball fan, I'm very interested to see how that's going to work and how that's going to look.
I am too as well.
I think it can work, but personalities, again, Draymond and Chris Paul, they got to talk, figure that out, and then go on the court, get some chemistry. They're gonna have to play a lot together in preseason if they really want to start off strong. Because you don't want to you don't want to try to figure it out the first. I've seen teams try to figure things out in the first month of the season, and it just doesn't work out.
No, it doesn't work.
And you start out with 5 wins and 10 losses. It's like, oh no, play preseason. Y'all should be getting in work in the next month. I say the next month. Let's go all link up. Let's go to the Bay, link up. Let's start early. Let's get some work in. You know, get some runs in. You know, go to LA, go to Rico Hines.
Come out here to LA.
You know, stuff like that.
Runs in together.
Get some runs in. You know, that's what I would do if I was in. But it should be interesting to see what happens and what Steve Kerr does if he starts Chris Paul or if he's going to be the 6th man off the bench. Lastly, we have Keegan Murray. So exciting news for him. Keegan Murray will participate in the Team USA training camp in August in Las Vegas ahead of the FIBA World Cup. According to his agent. And so basically the U.S. Select team will compete against the 12-man Team USA during training camp. And while they aren't on the preliminary roster to compete at the FIBA World Cup from August 25th through September 10th in the Philippines, Japan, and Indonesia, they will be eligible to travel with the USA team and serve as alternates in the event of injury on the main roster. So that's exciting, man. That means Keegan's kind of in the system now. He's in the the USA Team USA system for them to recognize his talents and kind of bring him along. What's your thoughts on that?
I feel like it's big. You know, it gives him way more exposure outside of just the NBA. You know what I mean? It gives you exposure for the FIBA championships. Yeah. You know, it gives you exposure to play with the elite players. Mm-hmm. You know, it puts you in that realm of like, hey, look, I can go get here eventually. Yeah. It might not be now. Or hey, look, you know what? And knock on wood, it doesn't happen. I mean, one of the players can go ahead and get hurt. Hey, Keegan, we need you to go ahead and step right on there right now. Yeah. And you can go ahead and do that. And I do feel like this is going to help him in his all-around game. It's going to go ahead and make him better because you are playing against some of the best, you know. Yeah. So with that, it's like, hey, go get your experience. Go learn, you know, and get great. Because what you're going to go ahead and do is you're going to be able to take that experience. You're going to be able to bring it to that Kings roster, you know, and be able to add to that and get better.
That's what I was going to
say. You already played during the summer league, which we didn't think he was going to go ahead and play. You played two games, but it was still good.
Yeah.
Now you're going to go ahead and go play in the FIBA, to practice every day against them. And then, Lord willing, hopefully it doesn't happen. If there is an injury that does happen, they're going to go ahead and take you off that select team and be like, hey, look, we need you to go ahead and step in. Now whatever role that is after that, that's on them to figure it out. But I do feel like that's very, very big and key for him to go ahead and get better.
And what I like about it
and improve his game.
What I like about it specifically for him is this is his first time playing with some other players that aren't Kings. You know what I mean? That's not his team. I think he's going to be able to play with some other guys and get kind of talk to them and pick their brain and things like that, get some work in. I think this is going to be a really good experience for this dude, and I think it's going to propel him to be even better coming in to training camp in October. I'm excited for this kid, man. I feel
Watch out for him.
Honestly, with Keegan, man, I feel like the sky's the limit for this dude. I feel like he can be an all-star in this league, and then from there, who knows? I would love to see him get depending on the jump that he makes this coming season, this is going to be a huge year for him. I feel like this is going to be like, and again, I think people are going to talk about this being a big three. Remember, I talked about that before.
Yes, we did.
And I said that, and I don't want to be like, oh, I took the credit for, but like after we kind of talked about that, I've saw more people talking about big three. Is this a big three? And I know we put our video up a little later, but we recorded our video before other people put theirs up. So
right, no doubt.
But whatever. But I do see this being a potential big three, and I feel like this is going to give him more experience. I feel like it's going to make him more confident.
Yes,
and which is what Mike Brown and the coaching staff and the Kings have been pushing. Hey, get that aggressive, like, you're that guy. You know it. We know it. Show it to the world. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And man, he's over there dunking on people. He's hitting threes. He's over there crossing. Like, bro, the way he looked at those 2 games.
I will say this. I know we've talked about it. I know Teddy ain't here to talk about it. You already know where I'm going with this.
Let's go.
I was not a big fan of him coming out of college in that draft position that they drafted him at. I was definitely an Ivy fan, but understanding now what the Kings had talking to you guys and doing research, and then seeing how this man, seeing how he's playing now, and seeing the upside of him and what their expectations are. The sky's the limit for him. I feel like
it is.
As long as he's able to go ahead and go in there and be like a sponge and soak everything.
Yes, that's what I'm excited for him. You know, that's what I'm excited for.
This is going to definitely give him some more. This is going to give him more experience for sure.
Because we pretty much know he won't be playing on the main team, but just traveling and kind of seeing and being around all that talent and those guys. You know, and when they put you on the select team, they're pretty much saying, hey, you're kind of like that next group. You're right here. As guys get hurt, retire, don't want to play. Hey, Keegan, you want to? You know what I mean? So
definitely
just soak it up, learn from these guys, pick their brain, take their moves, whatever moves.
For sure. Learn for sure.
Come back.
Because I said I was not big. I was definitely not big on that, and I'm starting to see now, you know what I'm saying, it's starting to come to me like, hey, look, you know what, this kid is projected. He's a little bit better than when I projected, you know, and just seeing him play during the tail end of the season and the games I did, or what I was able to go ahead and see out here in LA. And then also, what I see in the summer league, I'm like, okay, he came in bigger. A little bit more physical. He's out there, even in the summer league, he was out there guarding all three positions. I felt like.
Well, they say he's been working with De'Aaron Fox, playing one-on-one, guarding De'Aaron Fox. That's the fastest guard in the league. So if he's been working with him all the time, guarding that guy, come on, you know what I mean?
Hey, Ryan, a quiet Ryan Artest 2.0, man. That defensive player that can go ahead and go in there and go stop.
I'm telling you,
they need that.
They're trying to build this kid up, and I like what they're doing.
I hope they do.
This is going to be a very quietly developed, potential all-star type player in this league. I'm telling you, man, if this dude stays healthy, and he seems like he's willing to learn and he wants to get better. It's no telling where Keegan could go, man.
Hey, sky's the limit for him, man. He's soaking everything up like a sponge. I feel like right now, for you to go ahead and he didn't necessarily have to go ahead and go play in the summer league. He could just be like, hey, look, you know what? I'm done. I played my first year in the summer league, as a rookie. I'm going to go ahead and chill back. I'm going to go ahead and learn from these vets, playing, pick up games around, either SAC or LA or wherever you're at. Cool.
Yeah.
And then I'll wait until summer league start, or not summer league, but the preseason starts, and then pick up from there. But for him to go ahead and go, hey, look, you know what? Let me go ahead and at least play 2 games.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go down here. I'm gonna go play 2 games real quick. Then now you got the experience to go ahead and go in here and play against the likes of, let's see, I'm gonna name a couple of them. You're playing against a Jalen Brunson. You're playing against a Anthony Edwards. You're playing against a Brandon Ingram, Tyrese Halliburton. So, you got players on here, Jaren Jackson Jr. You got cats on here that you can really go ahead and guard and learn. And develop your game offensively and defensively.
And develop
because the offense. Go ahead.
And develop a rapport with some of these guys.
Definitely.
Who's to say if Keegan doesn't become our guy in the next couple of years, and they're like, you know what, Darren's still over there, Keegan's still over there. Man, we had chemistry over there when we played in that FIBA. You know what, man? I like what they got going on. They've been consistent for the last few years. Hey, Keegan, what's it like in Sac, bro? What's it like in Sac, bro? Hey, man, it's chill, man. No anybody gonna bother you. You know what I'm saying?
Bother you,
Ain't too much going on, but you know what I'm saying? They, the fans are great, and the team. Look, hey, somebody might come out. That will be stuff a good like look. That helps you get free agents.
Yes,
it does.
I agree.
Especially when you're a small market team like Sacramento, it's kind of harder already to get free agents interested in your team. So go out and show. You know what I mean? Sacramento proud, man. Go out there and represent. Represent the Kings, man. So I'm happy.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm definitely excited for him, man. I hope this experience helps him blossom into the player that they really want him to go ahead and be, and eventually if he needs to go ahead and be into a leadership role like how De'Aaron Fox is and Sabonis is, he'll get there eventually. Exactly. And then we can go ahead and be like, hey, look, you know what? They got them the big 3. We can talk about how they were with the Kings in the early 2000s with Bibby and with Weber, Divac, and Stoy. You know what I'm saying? And even Hito and them. You know what I'm saying? Like you got players that came through the system there. Through trades and things like that
I feel like this is such a similar team to those early 2000s.
I agree.
When you look at Webb, Sabonis, you look at the point guard situation with Bibby and when we had Jason Williams, De'Aaron Fox, Stojakovic. Now you got Sasha. Now you got Sasha.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Doug Christie. Keegan,
the likes of Bobby Jackson, the Bobby Jacksons, and Monk. So
very similar kind of makeup. You know what I mean? So I'm excited, man. Real quick too, I do want to talk about a correction that I need to make.
Go ahead.
I said that Keegan made 188 threes on one of the other videos. That was actually the record, the rookie record. He broke that record and he made 206 3-point shots. He made the all rookie first team. So he got those honors and things like that. So yeah, man. If he can hit that number again, or maybe even more, So he finished the season. He averaged 12.2 points on 45% shooting from the field. And he averaged 4.6 rebounds a game. If we can get that 12 points up to about 15, 16, and maybe 5 rebounds a game. Woo, 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 woo.
Hey. Listen, the Kings, man.
The thing with Keegan, he had games where it's like, okay, he'll break out for 20, 18, 20, but then he'll have a game like, all right, he has 6 points. 8 points, just being consistent. We need to be a little bit more consistent. Yeah, just be a little more consistent, be a little more aggressive, be a little more confident in what you're doing in your game. And, I think he can get to that 15, 16 point average to go along with Sabonis and Fox.
I agree with you 110%.
So, yeah, man. So, like I said, it is off season, not a whole lot of news, but, we did kind of want to get on here and talk about what's going on. So we will be tapping in as things happen. We will be on here doing our podcast. It's going to be easier to do the weekly podcast for sure when the season starts and as we get closer to training camps and things like that. Also with FIBA coming up, we'll probably grab some content from there and information from there to to bring you guys and kind of get back on here and get the content flowing a little more. But again, so we just want to get on here and kind of just talk hoop, man. We love the game, you know what I mean? So we love hoop. We love the hustle. We love the hustle, you know what I mean? So
we love the hustle.
Just talk a little bit about what's going on. So I go by the name of Steph. We got Dope Boy Bush. Next time, hopefully we'll have Teddy White here, man. He couldn't make it tonight,
yes, sir.
You know what I mean? So Drop your comments. Please subscribe to the channel.
Definitely.
Like the videos. Do all that. Comment.
Please.
Also, too,
we need that.
I was sitting there thinking, I think I want to have a segment or just like maybe a video a week of just pulling from your comments, answering questions, whether it be about us, whether it be about other players, other teams, other whatever it is, basketball related. If it kind of interests us, maybe we can kind of pull your comment and make content out of that. I think that'd be very engaging, something that would be fun for all of us. You know what I mean? You guys are kind of like a part of the channel at that point. You know what I mean? So so drop your comments. Let's talk hoop, man. Let's talk hoop. This is a hoop channel.
And then also too as well to piggyback off what you're saying in the community section of the YouTube, when we post up polls, please interact with that.
Yeah,
vote.
absolutely.
We'll definitely go ahead and take your guys' votes, and we'll go ahead and bring it up on the next podcast and talk about what it was with that and the question and the answer and how we felt about it. And
absolutely.
what the overall results were.
Absolutely.
Definitely we engage. So engage with us back. We definitely talk back. We definitely would love it for sure.
Let's help this thing grow, man. We really feel like just real talk. You know what I mean? This is not just, us kind of being our personas on here, but like real talk. We feel like this channel has a whole lot of potential. You know what I mean? And we're not on here, just on here just doing this just to be doing it. We're not making any money right now. You know what I mean? Like, we're doing this just for the passion and the love of loving basketball and loving the NBA and loving the Kings and loving just everything about hoop. You know what I mean? This is what we do on the regular. Like before we said, like, we're taking the text thread and putting it on camera now, you know what I mean? And we're trying to do it with the highest quality, you know what I mean? You can see we have the cameras, we got the layouts, we got the mics, you know what I mean? All that. So we really would appreciate you guys. Be interactive, just engage. We're not asking for nothing else. Definitely. If you like what we're talking about, or even if you don't like what we talking about, let us know in a respectful way, because otherwise you're gonna get blocked. But no, for real. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I get it. I definitely get it. No trolls. No trolls.
Yeah, we don't need the trolling. We're grown men. We don't do the internet stuff. If you take that to another channel, for real. Like, we're not. Please. I'll just delete your channel. I'll delete your comment and block you. Like, I don't care. Like.
Well, I don't, bro, on some petty. He said, "I'm petty right now."
Just, like I said, we're grown men. We don't need that. You know what I'm saying? But if you have something constructive to say, by all means, drop your comment, man. And we enjoyed it. We enjoyed the interaction and learning from you guys too. So,
hey, follow us on the social media handles too, as well. So interact with us. I'll definitely interact.
Yeah,
110%.
We're on Twitter. Those are our Twitters underneath our, our video videos right there, and our cameras and whatnot. So like the video, follow us on Twitter, hit the links in the bio or in the description, and we're going to get back at y'all, man. All that no, we're in the podcast. This is podcast number 3.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So, we're going to get back at y'all, man. Peace.
Later.